Live in high definition from the area's most experienced news team, this is NBC 29 HD News at Sunrise.
Two Democratic candidates vying to be Virginia's next governor field questions from UVA students.
All Black Lives Matter! All Black Lives Matter! All Black Lives Matter!
Plus, tensions run high in Charlottesville's Jackson Park as protesters clash with those who support the removal of a monument remembering Confederate General Robert E. Lee. Thanks for joining us this morning on your News at Sunrise. I'm Madison Carter. We're going to get to those top story headlines in just a second, but first I want to wish you all a very happy Mother's Day. Today's Mother's Day, and I want to wish all of the soon-to-be mothers, all the current mothers, and those mothers who may have passed on a very happy Mother's Day, especially my own mom, Renee. Call her Ren when she has an attitude, which is often. She doesn't get up to watch me anymore because during the week she says that 4:30 is too early to get up, and I didn't know that motherly love had a time limit on it, but that's totally fine. I'm joking. I love you, Mom. Thanks so much. I wouldn't be here saying ridiculous things on TV if it weren't for you. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Let's send over to meteorologist Clayton Styler to see what kind of weather we can expect if we want to take our mamas out today.
Well said, Madison. I did not prepare a speech like that, but I will still wish my mom back in Pennsylvania, Judy, at home, Nazareth.
Hey, Clayton, thank you. Now to our top stories. Albemarle County Police are investigating an accident involving an officer's patrol car. It happened last night around 5 o'clock. Police say a driver clipped the back of the cruiser as the officer was trying to position his car to check speeds in a construction zone off 29 South. A passenger riding along with the officer had a minor injury, but the driver of the other car was not hurt. Yesterday, UVA students had the chance to ask two gubernatorial candidates questions. Democrats Tom Perriello and Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam were in Charlottesville for a forum held by UVA Democrats. Perriello and Northam answered pre-selected questions from students, and those questions ranged in topic from student debt to the proposed Atlantic Coast pipeline. We're going to hear from those candidates coming up in our next half hour. Well, it was a tense scene in Charlottesville's Jackson Park Saturday when a white heritage protest unfolded. Protesters marched along East Jefferson Street all the way to the Stonewall Jackson statue, chanting against the removal of the Robert E. Lee statue. When opposers arrived, yelling and scuffling ensued between both parties. Coming up, we're going to hear from people on both sides of that argument. Taking a look at your stories around the world at 7:03. The U.S., South Korea, and Japan are criticizing the latest launch of a ballistic missile by North Korea. A statement from the White House says, quote, North Korea has been a flagrant menace for far too long. South Korea's new president strongly condemned the test, while Japan's prime minister called the launch a great threat and totally unacceptable. Military officials said the missile traveled 430 miles before landing in the Sea of Japan. Dignitaries are pouring in at Élysée Palace in Paris ahead of the inauguration of President-elect Emmanuel Macron. The president-elect was welcomed to the courtyard by incumbent President Francois Hollande. Macron is taking charge of a nation that, when Britain leaves the European Union in 2019, will become the EU's only member with nuclear weapons and a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. Archaeologists in Egypt have found an ancient burial site with at least 17 well-preserved mummies. The digging is still in its preliminary stage, so more mummies will likely be discovered in the area. Egypt's Antiques Minister said the newly found burial chamber that is 130 miles south of Cairo could be 2,000 years old or more. Attorney General Jeff Sessions promised law enforcement officials that he would have their backs as long as he's headed to the Justice Department. He delivered special remarks as 394 names were dedicated on the National Law Enforcement Memorial in Washington, D.C. Officers, security officials, and family and friends of fallen officers celebrated their lives with a candlelight vigil. Sessions reminded the audience that it's important to support law enforcement.
So we mourn today to remember those who've lost and to celebrate them. We mourn these fallen officers. We cannot avoid this stark truth. We are here because these men and women gave everything, gave their very lives for us.
The event is part of National Police Week and National Peace Officers Memorial Day, which will start tomorrow. A large fire is rapidly growing across South Florida. Officials say the North Port fire started at 3 acres and then quickly grew to about 2,000 acres. The fire started on the west side of Interstate 75, but it's moved east, causing lane closures and major traffic delays. Officials say 1 home is in danger, but no structural damage has been reported. No injuries have been reported either, and officials are also saying the blaze is right now about 20% contained. One Charlottesville organization is benefiting from people's love of beer and bourbon. More than 1,100 people came out to Ix Park Saturday afternoon for the No Good Beer and Bourbon Festival. They could taste dozens of samples from Central Virginia breweries and distilleries. Money raised from the festival is going to go towards the Red Shoe Seaville and the Ronald McDonald House, which provides families a place to stay while their children are in the hospital. Letter carriers around Central Virginia are doing their part to help fight hunger. This week, mail carriers collected bags of non-perishables that are left in mailboxes. The canned goods and other donations are part of the 25th annual Stamp Out Hunger food drive that was hosted by the National Association of Letter Carriers. The food collected goes to local food banks.
This food drive is a tremendous benefit for the Blue Ridge Food Bank in that this is their major donation for the year. And in doing this, we allow a lot of people in the community to have food, where otherwise maybe they wouldn't get it.
Last year, postal workers collected 59,000 pounds of food in Charlottesville. The post office says it hopes to get that and more to fight hunger in the Charlottesville area this year. Students at Monticello High School are putting on a performance with a special message. We're going to be talking to some of the students involved in the musical and hear what they hope their play inspires audiences to do. All that's coming up when our News at Sunrise continues.
And that will drop the temperature back a little, 83 degrees, but perhaps a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Monday's the only day I think I like on that one. And then Saturday when we get cooler with better weather.
Yes,
Sunday.
we're drying out here nicely. Of course, we've gotten rid of the drought, which is good, so we kind of deserve this dry stretch, but maybe a little bit too much heat this early in the season.
I don't like that. All right. Well, thanks, Clayton, anyway.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Clayton. Students at Monticello High School in Albemarle County are performing a musical with a timely message about the struggles of immigrants in America. NBC 29's Victoria Reslow spoke with some of the performers and brings us their story.
News.
Yeah, again, last night people were able to give those donations to 2 Charlottesville organizations. Those organizations work to help Latino families. In the Heights will run again today at 3 o'clock. For ticket information, we have a link up on our website, NBC29.com. People in Charlottesville have a better understanding of other cultures after walking around the world in Lee Park. The 14th annual Festival of the Cultures was put on yesterday by the Adult Learning Center in Charlottesville. Dozens of different cultural groups put together booth demonstrations with artifacts, crafts, and food. Performers also gathered in the park to show off their roots through dance and music.
Especially like today with so many things going on, it's just great to see how many people from all different places live in Charlottesville, that we're all getting along.
The Festival of the Cultures hopes to build bridges of communication between new Americans and established residents in Charlottesville. Welcome back at 7:19. When it comes to your safety in the case of an attack or domestic violence, you have the right to defend yourself. NBC's Jillian Parker has more on some self-defense techniques and how to prevent an incident from escalating.
The best thing to do is remove.
That was Jillian Parker reporting. Experts suggest making a defense plan ahead of time so that there's less to think about if a situation unfolds. Getting support from family, friends, or a counselor is an important part of recovery for domestic violence victims. All right, Clayton, thank you. Disruption filled Jackson Park in Charlottesville yesterday as 2 sides clash when a white heritage protest unfolded. NBC 29's Taylor Gleason reports.
We are a people.
NBC 29 News.
So again, police did get involved towards the end of that protest, but no arrests were made. Opposers of the white heritage representatives say they hope to never see a demonstration like this again. Tempers also flared at Lee Park last night, where police had to break up a nighttime rally of Confederate heritage supporters. They were holding a vigil around the statue of Robert E. Lee. The group is demanding the city keep the statue standing. Charlottesville's GOP chair Eric Reimer issued a statement saying the demonstrators promoted intolerance and hatred and calling the demonstration utterly disgusting and disturbing beyond words. He added that he feels this is a time for the community to unite under common values. Now to Decision 2017, University of Virginia students are gaining a better understanding of two Democratic candidates running for governor. Tom Perriello and Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam attended a forum put on by the UVA Democrats Saturday. The forum included pre-chosen questions from students. Some of those questions included concerns about student debt and the proposed Atlantic Coast Pipeline. Both candidates stressed the importance of events like this ahead of the June 13th election.
It was just a great opportunity to hear from 200 plus people. A lot of them are young and are millennials, and they're very important for our future.
I think one of the big questions people are asking is, will all of this kind of resistance and protest energy turn into real political power at the polls? And the first test of that will be June 13th.
The audience was upwards of 200 people, including students, Charlottesville elected officials, and others. This was the last stop on their tour of joint appearances before the election. President Donald Trump delivered his first commencement speech as president yesterday at Liberty University in Lynchburg. The president told the graduates of the nation's largest evangelical Christian college that they should, quote, relish the opportunity to be an outsider. He encouraged them to not be afraid to challenge the entrenched and failed power structures.
In my short time in Washington, I've seen firsthand how the system is broken. A small group of failed voices who think they know everything and understand everyone want to tell everybody else how to live and what to do and how to think. But you aren't going to let other people tell you what you believe, especially when you know that you're right.
During his 30-minute speech, Trump never mentioned his firing of FBI Director James Comey. Hear from the Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. They're talking exclusively with Chuck Todd this morning on Meet the Press. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer also makes an appearance. You can catch Meet the Press at 9 o'clock this morning right here on NBC 29. It is 7:36. Tuition is going up for students at the Virginia Commonwealth University. VCU Board of Visitors approved a 3.8% increase in tuition and fees for in-state undergrad students. They'll pay about $494 more next year. Out-of-state undergrads will pay $1,300 more. That's an increase of 4.2%. The university's budget includes raises for faculty and staff and an increase in university-funded financial aid for students. The hard work of some savvy high school students is paying off. The 100 Black Men of Central Virginia recognized their senior student members Saturday for GPA records, scholarships, and upcoming graduation. Superintendents from districts across the region and Charlottesville's Vice Mayor Wes Bellamy spoke at the event. The scholars say they hope younger students stay passionate in school.
Having a sense of dedication and just always being determined every single day, just getting better throughout life and just trying to accomplish your main goal and just staying focused all through 4 years of high school.
The seniors recognized attend school in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, Greene County, Buckingham, Orange County, and Madison County. If you're looking to spend some time with your mom this Mother's Day, we have an event that she might enjoy. The 37th annual Crozet Spring Arts and Crafts Festival continues today. It features more than 100 artists and craftsmen this year. Booths will include family photographers and a massage tent. How about that? Both great last-minute gift ideas for your mom. The event also has live music, food, and children's entertainment. The festival will open at 10 o'clock this morning and run till 5 o'clock this evening at Claudius Crozet Park. Tickets are $7. Children and their families dance the night away at a special event held just for them. A look at the festivities from Charlottesville's Park and Rec's first family prom. The story and more ahead when our News at Sunrise continues.
So at least we get some fronts to kind of bring some relief to the heat. Because
I've had to get out all my seasons of clothing. We've had rain,
that's just
spring,
the way the weather
summer.
pattern is. You know, that's what we like to say a lot of times here in Virginia. If you don't like the weather you're seeing right now, just give it a few days, and likely it's going to be something completely different that will suit your likes. So.
All right, well, so everybody will get a little bit of something this week. All right, Clayton, thanks so much. Some families in Charlottesville are thanking Parks and Rec for a dance that's open to all of their families. Charlottesville's Park and Rec held its first family prom last night at the Jefferson School in the Carver Rec Center. The event was open to families with children all the way up to the age of 12. The organizer of the prom says that she wants to offer something for everyone.
We wanted to be able to have families of all shapes and sizes be able to come rather than just a father-daughter, mother-son, which are great events, but we thought, well, let's do something where everyone can come.
Family prom organizers hope to make this an annual event. The Children's Choir of Central Virginia is now looking for new members. It held its spring benefit concert yesterday afternoon at Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church. Its mission is to empower the faith community in Charlottesville area. Money raised from yesterday's performance will go to an organization called Impact. That organization. Welcome back at 7:49. Today is Mother's Day, in case you haven't heard. It's a time to show Mom just how much she's appreciated, but how much will be spent on doing just that? The National Retail Federation, or NRF, estimates that U.S. shoppers will spend more than $23 billion celebrating Mother's Day this year. That's a record. I believe it. More people purchase fresh flowers and plants for Mother's Day than for any other holiday except for Christmas and Hanukkah. Now let's get a look at what's ahead in this week in the world of business. CNBC's Dominic Chu brings us up to speed.
Diamonds hit the auction block, retailers ring up results, and